a few years in Venezuela, but particularly the events of Saturday. That is to say, the use of force to prevent humanitarian aid from reaching people in Venezuela who so greatly need it and want it. It's really unprecedented to use force in such a way, and we will discuss the fact that it led to violence on two international borders, Venezuela, Colombia, and Venezuela, Brazil.
Are you hoping to take any action here at the UN? There is the US draft Security Council resolution.
I think we'll have a resolution this week, which will certainly call for the admission of humanitarian aid into Venezuela, and will comment on the events of the last few days.
And you're hoping to have that voted on this week?
Yes.
Do you think you can avoid a Russian veto?
I would not like to predict what the Russians are going to do. I think it would be shameful to veto a resolution that calls for more humanitarian aid.
And there's a report today that the US is looking into possible sanctions against a billionaire on Wall Street to do with some bond deals that he did with Venezuela. Can you tell us about that?
No, I don't want to get into any individual cases, but we have said that sanctions will continue. We announced some sanctions yesterday. There will be more. There will be more this week. There will be more next week. We will continue to impose sanctions on high-ranking members of the regime and people who handle their financial affairs.
And you don't think this will hurt humanitarian situation?
What is hurting the humanitarian situation is a regime that has destroyed the economy of Venezuela and prevented humanitarian aid from arriving. And the solution to the humanitarian situation is to get a government that works for rather than against the people of Venezuela.
So are you having told us last week that he was hoping to meet with you? Have you met with him in the past few days?
I am not having any meetings with the representatives of the Maduro regime.
Do you have
enough votes for a resolution once it's put into consideration of the council?
I think we will. I think we will pass.
What about a military option?
We'll see about a veto.
A military option?
Call for elections or simply humanitarian aid?
Well, we would like the resolution to call for elections. That's following on to what the Lima Group did yesterday, where it called for free elections in Venezuela.
Ambassador Abrams, why does the U.S. support President Pinochet in Chile, one of the most barbaric human rights abusers?
Well, we can discuss the events of the late 1980s. You should go see the movie No. The wonderful Chile. Let me finish.
I worked in Chile.
And you would see that wonderful Chilean movie with what for me was the highlight, the line, Los gringos son con nosotros, spoken by the people trying to replace the Pinochet regime with a democracy.
What would be the red line for the U.S. to decide whether
we do not get into hypotheticals. I think you can see what the policy is. The policy is to use as much diplomatic and economic and political pressure as we can, along with the now, I think, 54 countries that have recognized Juan Guaido as the legitimate president of Venezuela, to support the Venezuelan people's desire for democracy. That's our policy.
The Russians said today that the US is preparing to take military action in Venezuela. Is that true?
No. The president has said all options are on the table. Presidents always say that, and rightly so. But it ill behooves the Russians to talk about military intervention after they have dismembered both Georgia and Ukraine.
So there is no military action?